Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris has agreed to do an interview with Fox News. Yes, this is going to be happening on Wednesday. It was reported yesterday that the Obama people were taking over. They kicked all the Kamala strategists out, and now they want her to really rev it up and go on Fox News. Remember, the original strategy with Kamala was to not have her do anything. That's why when Trump came out and said we'll do 3 debates, and he was a very favorable debate schedule for liberals because it was a Fox debate and then it was 2 liberal networks, but she refused to do a Fox News debate. Now she's going on Fox News for a one-on-one sit down because she's getting crushed with her internal numbers. That's really the only thing you can say. You've got Kamala Harris proposing forgivable loans up to $20,000 for black entrepreneurs. They're losing the black male vote. And so now they're leeching and they're trying to kind of throw anything they can at the wall and hope that it sticks. But Kamala Harris agreeing to do a Fox interview on Wednesday. She just did 60 Minutes. It went terrible for her. But this is the Obama people realizing she's going to lose if she doesn't go out there and try and prove herself. So this is desperation, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. You've got the Lincoln Project. I was surprised this is even a thing, but this got like 30,000 likes or something. This says seen in Texas, 23 days left until the election. Vote, and then the word like is crossed out. It says vote, your daughter's rights depend on it. What about the granddaughter's rights? Isn't that a little ironic? I mean, like, seriously? Kill your yeah, exactly. Like, this is not, this sign is not good, but it got, like, liberals love this sign. It's like, are you kidding me? What about the granddaughter's rights? You know what we're saying? Like, Jesus, man. My goodness. You've also got this. Is Kamala rushing to a Fox News interview a sign of confidence or desperation? Well, it's clear desperation, and we know this because this is a deviation of what they've done in the past. They didn't think they needed any of this. That's why she didn't agree to the Fox News debate, and now she wants another debate. It's clear her internal numbers are not good enough, and so they're going back and they're saying, now we want to debate again. Now I'll go on Fox News, even though a month ago I said I wouldn't do it, and Trump had to do a town hall instead of a debate because she didn't show up. It's clear her numbers are not where they need to be, and that's why the Obama people have come in and they've taken over now, and they're trying to take control of the campaign and run it, and Biden hates her, and it's just a real mess. You've got Harris talking about weak and unstable Trump hiding from a debate. Trump agreed to 3 debates, Fox, ABC, and NBC. And again, ABC and NBC, those are more liberal networks. Fox is the conservative one. That's a positive for the Democrats, you would think. It's 2 liberal networks, 1 conservative, and we saw how biased ABC was. Harris had only agreed to 1. Politico missed that part. Yeah, so this is what liberals have been doing. It's like, oh, Trump won't debate. Well, no, this is what happened. Kamala Harris and her campaign, they thought they could win by doing basically nothing and only having 1 debate. Turns out you can't win that way. They're seeing with their internal numbers. So now they're crawling back just like an ex-girlfriend saying, oh, no, we didn't want to debate you a month ago, but now we want to debate you because our internal numbers suck. So please debate us. And they swing it and they're like, oh, Trump is scared. No, Trump agreed to 3 debates, 2 of them being on liberal networks. She declined it. Now she's running to Fox News because she's losing with horrible internal numbers. So really, that's what's going on right now. We've also got people in Virginia. People in Virginia are really loud about this early voting and saying that, Trump could potentially win Virginia. I think Virginia is going to be very close. I don't know if he can win it. Like a 3 and a 3.5 point Kamala victory in Virginia, probably. You've got Trafalgar coming out with a new general election poll in Arizona. You'd like to see a little bit more separation with Trafalgar in Arizona. A 1.5 lead for Trump. I would have hoped it would be around 3. Listen, you'll take it. And it's not like Kerry Lake is down by 4 in a Trafalgar in this poll. Trafalgar, they're more of a Republican pollster, so Lake being down by 4 is not good. There's no way around it. But Trump being up by 1.5, I would have liked it to be a little bit more. But it's not like there's a pollster that they're crazy biased. No, Trump might still win it by 3-4 points. It's just a poll 2 or 3 weeks before the election. I was just expecting it possibly to be a little bit more in Trump's favor there from that pollster. You've also got this Palestinian supporter setting fire to an American flag in Chicago. Yeah, I don't know how this is legal, and this is something where conservatives do spat on the idea of, do you make this illegal? Should it be legal to burn American flags? Burning American flags in public settings on public streets should be illegal. It's disrespectful to the country. That's a separate thing. They're like, oh, it's a freedom thing. No, but that's disrespectful. It's just like you can't kill a bald eagle, even though bald eagles aren't endangered anymore, but you can't kill it because it's a national symbol and it's a sign of disrespect to the country. You shouldn't be able to mask up and do this and set fire. This is just what happened. Remember what happened in France where they'd take the French flags down and they'd burn them and they'd put up, it's what happened in Washington, D.C. They'll take the American flag down, they'll burn it, and they'll put up a Palestinian flag, just like the Soviet Union when they took over the Reichstag and they took down the Nazi swastikas and they put up the USSR flags. So this stuff should not be allowed. I mean, in a public setting, it should not be allowed. You shouldn't be able to burn American flags in a public setting. And they're like, well, what about freedom? Yeah, but this is a different thing because it's disrespect. You can't kill a bald eagle even though they're not endangered anymore because it's a disrespect to the country. The bald eagle population is growing exponentially, but you still can't kill a bald eagle in the United States. It's a crime. You can't do it. It's disrespectful to the country. You cannot do this. This is a disrespect to our country. You can't burn American flags on public property. But they just allow them to do them. There, these fat people come out in masks and just do it. It's unbelievable. Bill Clinton, I already talked about that. Breaking new leaks indicate that the Kamala camp has turned into a toxic and violent environment. That doesn't surprise me at all. You've also got this, people talking about Virginia early voting data. Looks like 53% Democrat, 41.5% Republican, about a 12.5 point advantage for Democrats. So I did look into this, and it does seem like this is early and absentee. In 2016, because we really have to go back to 2016, the 2020 numbers, you just can't use them because of the pandemic. 2016, Dems got around 60%. Now, again, you can't really compare that because we don't really know the variables. Are there more conservatives doing early voting now because Trump is pushing it a lot more in 2024 than he did in 2016? But I think Virginia was closer in 2016 than it was in 2020. And if Dems won the early vote by 60% in terms of the early vote, now they're only at 53. But again, this is just an update right now. We'll see where they are on November 1st, like right before the election, because maybe they'll go up to 60%. We don't know. That's why it's very hard to interpret this early voting data, not just because of the pandemic. Also, these are early numbers. So these numbers are going to change. It's like we're comparing numbers, the final result from 2020 and 2016 to numbers in mid-October in 2024. Who knows if more Republicans are early voting, and then the Democrats will do it later this month and the numbers will get in. I mean, just there's so many things at play here. It's very hard to say, well, Republicans are doing so much better in terms of early voting. They're going to win the state of Virginia or even, make it really competitive. I mean, maybe they might make it competitive. I know, obviously, with Glenn Youngkin winning in 2021, there's Republicans in the state. It's not impossible for a Republican to win Virginia. That's why it's so tantalizing and people talk about Virginia more than they do Minnesota. But it's just hard to really understand this data, if it's good, if it's bad, because there's so many different variables, and the early voting data is so, there's no concrete, and there's nothing concrete to it. I mean, you could say, well, if you compare this date in 2020 and this date in 2016 to where we are now, and there's less Dems early voting, but again, there's multiple things that go into that. It's not just, well, now there's more conservatives in the state, which I'm sure we would all hope. We'd all hope that's happening. I do think there's a shift in the state, and Trump's going to perform a lot better than he did in 2020 in Virginia. It's going to be probably within 5 points. But can we say, well, this is going to cause Trump to win it? It's hard to say that based on these numbers. That's what I'll say about that. We've got this. Yeah, we've got to talk about this. This is the updated Gallup. So Gallup, what was it? Early September, they released their, well, actually, it's not even shown right here. Gallup released their party ID in early September. And this is their new one, September 16th through September 28th. And would you look at that, the Democrats are sitting +4 in terms of environment. Now, the thing that I'll say, and this is not COPE, this is just what it is. To be fair, the only number that matters from Gallup is their final number that they release. And apparently, this was a while ago. So they might be releasing a new number soon. If this was only through the 28th, I mean, we're like a half a month past that. But listen, the reason I was talking about the party ID in terms of Gallup was because it was legit +3 Republicans. And I didn't think it was going to swing. What is it swung? 7 points in the span of half a month? Look at this. See, this just doesn't make any sense. You're talking about they polled in early September compared to late September, and it swings by 7 points? Come on. But again, the thing with Gallup is, guys, I'm going to be honest, Gallup, in terms of their ID, they've been very accurate. Now, maybe it's an outlier. Maybe they'll be inaccurate this cycle, but the past 5 or 6 elections, in terms of the popular vote, they've been very accurate. You don't want to see a Dem +4. I mean, Trump technically could still win if it's like he loses the popular vote by like 3.5. He could still win. You don't want to see a Dem +4. But this is very strange that there's that much of a difference in the span of half a month, because you look at the date, September 3rd through the 15th versus the 16th through the 28th, and it's a 7-point difference in terms of party ID. This is bad data from Gallup, and I'm not coping. I mean, this is bad data. You're not going to swing 7 points in terms of party ID in half a month. And then people are saying, well, it's because it was right after the debate, so there was bias, there was response bias, and hopefully we'll get more accurate Gallup numbers. My prediction is the next Gallup party ID poll comes out, Republicans +1 or even probably. Yeah, if you factor the response bias of this, because this was right during the right after the debate, and they're like, yeah, I mean, even Gallup's like, yeah, there was crazy response bias, don't really pay attention to it. I mean, even Gallup is saying this is like a crap poll. So once Gallup releases a new poll, I would imagine, because listen, it's been very accurate, it has, but this is not the final poll. They're going to release a new one. It's probably going to be Republicans +1. You don't see it move like this in the span of a month by 7 points in terms of party ID. It's crap, and they know it's bad data, and that's why they took them so long to release this. They're like, this is crap data. We got to release this and then release the next one. They're going to be releasing another one soon. It'll be better numbers, but none of this matters. It's the final one that matters. But the reason I was referencing the Republican +3 data was because I did not expect it to shift by 7 points in less than half a month. But again, that's bad data. That should not happen. So I think we'll get another one +4 Dem. You don't want to see that because technically that would mean, I mean, listen, they could get it wrong. We don't know. But if you look at the last 5 elections, they've been within a point. It might be actually the last 6 elections in terms of popular vote. I'm talking about, meaning if their final result is Dem +4, it's likely, at least according to their data, that she's going to win by at least 3 in terms of the popular vote, because they've been within a point in the past 5 or 6 elections. But if it's +1 Dem, then that's very good for Trump. If it's +2 Dem, then that's very good for Trump. Once you get to like +4 Dem, that's tough, because, I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. That's bad data. Just that, because we've seen too many shifts in New York. We've seen too many shifts in Florida. We've seen too many shifts in Illinois. We've seen too many shifts in New Jersey. So they've got bad data here. That's why they waited to release this like half a month, and they're going to get another poll. They got some bad response bias with that. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.